What's up, you beautiful collectors and action figure fans? Thanks for tuning in. It is the one and only Optibotimus coming to you with another video review. And on today's episode, we're going to be looking at the Invisible Skeletor from the Masters of the Universe Origins cartoon collection. Now, this is the one that I really was not entirely sure if I wanted to get. Mostly because for the first time in the cartoon collection here, he's a variant of sorts. You know, we really haven't gotten variants. I mean, yeah, we had like Faker He-Man, which basically looked like He-Man, but he was still kind of like a different character. This is a variant of Skeletor from a single episode where he used the helmet to make himself invisible, and then he kidnapped Prince Adam, saying that if you want to see Prince Adam alive again, make He-Man come and save him. Well, obviously that wasn't going to happen. And then Orko, being the dumbass that he is, ended up making the Sword of Power disappear into Preternia for the most part. But it all kind of came together, and he's basically like a clearish kind of, because you can see he's kind of like purplish blue and stuff. Just like I said, a variant of Skeletor. So I don't know how I feel about this. But for the package, you do have the He-Man Masters of the Universe logo there. Skeletor, you got Hordak on the top there with the She-Ra logo there. Cartoon collection there. Come on to the back, you can see that this is how he appeared in Disappearing Act. And you do see Orko right there. We do know that we are getting an Orko. I actually think that's in the next wave, which has already started processing, I believe, at Entertainment Earth. So if you are interested in picking that up, links will be down in the video description, obviously. But here is Skeletor putting that helmet on, becoming invisible. And then the only way that they could really kind of find him was He-Man made Orko disrobe. And that's what this is. And He-Man bumped into Skeletor and then threw that over him so that he could find him. So that's why he comes with that. So it's kind of funny, but you got, I mean, he's a whole lot more invisible looking in this picture than the way that the toy is. You got Buzz Off, you have Frost. Much like all the other ones, you got the little dimple right in there. But for the package on this guy, that is about it. So without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. And here we have the Invisible Skeletor opened up and out of his packaging. And you know, he's not as bad as I initially kind of thought him to be. I'll be totally honest. Unless it was for Hasbro sending this to me, I probably wouldn't have picked him up unless I like saw him on discount or something like that. But it's not bad. I'll be totally honest. They actually, what they did with him is actually pretty darn good. Now, starting off first, he does come with the comic book. We have seen this with the other two figures. Nothing really different with that. Set that off to the side. He also does come with this little instruction sheet here that basically shows that you can swap out his arms. Also, his face is swappable. That's something that's different. Usually the head is just completely swappable, but they made it where the head or the face swaps out, which is actually fairly cool, realistically. Accessory wise, like I said, he does come with the Cloak of Orko that I don't know if that's the Cloak of Orko. This is what, like, He-Man's like, Orko, give me your robe, and he threw this to him. He was hiding behind a bush and couldn't see him naked. And then that's what He-Man put over him to be able to find him. So you do have that. You do get the Havoc staff, and this is kind of like what I was talking about. It's like, well, I mean, this is a lot more clear. This is definitely clear-ish, but you can kind of see that it's a little bit more solid. It's not as clear, not as translucent, I guess. But I really like the way that this turned out. This looks really cool. I do like it. He also does come with this little guy. Now, it doesn't really sit on his head all that well, to be totally honest. You kind of have to force it on there. Oh, wait. Oh, and then as I say it, it actually does it. So this is the goofy-ass helmet that he did to make himself become invisible. And, I mean, I guess, for the most part. But you can see, like, oh, his head is, like, oh, it kind of pops up there. But you can kind of see the body does have a little bit more of that translucent nature as opposed to his Havoc staff. I do dig it. I do think it would have, I mean, I get why they went with the color because it matches with Skeletor's. I think it probably would have been better if it was done in a more clear kind of translucent nature as opposed to this purplish blue translucent. I mean, it still looks good, don't get me wrong. But I think that if you wanted to really, because this kind of makes him look more like a ghost. Like this is kind of his what did Doctor Strange call it? Or his astral form. This kind of looks like an astral form version of Skeletor. It doesn't look bad, but like I said, I think as going to recreate the invisible look, I think a clear will look better. Maybe they went with this because a lot of times clear plastic does tend to yellow over time. So if they decided to do it because of that reason, I'm okay with it. I just think that the overall look of it would have been done better with the, like I said, the clearness. Now you can pull his face off, and you can see that the face is actually fairly clear, a little yellowish tint to it. I kind of like this face here because it shows him being terrified. Oh, get that in there. That looks a little bit better. I kind of like that. And then you can take his head off, put this over. Now He-Man found him, and now Skeletor is terrified because he's like, oh no, now he's going to punch me or something. So there's that. So I do kind of like that with this entire thing. And then as you can plop that on there because, oh, I dropped something. And see, this one doesn't squeeze out. There we go. Oh, well, no, it still doesn't really. It kind of pops up a little bit. Oh, and it's not really. Maybe I'm putting it on backwards. I wonder if there's a. Oh, yeah, maybe something like that. And he's like, oh no, guys. I don't know why his head's all. Oh no, what's up? Weird. But you got the Havoc staff. You can do all that fun magical stuff. So in general, like I said, it's a cool looking one. I honestly do not think that this would have been one that I would have picked up. Unless I did see it on some kind of clearance sort of thing. It's cool looking, but for me, it's you know, I'd rather have a character, like I said, this is a variant. I'd rather have a character that was in more episodes. This appeared like twice in that scene where he made himself invisible. This only appeared in for a brief second. So, I mean, it is what it is. It's cool looking. I think it could have done better or been done better, but I do like the execution in general for it. Articulation wise, the head is on a ball joint, much like we've seen before. Pin and hinge joints for the shoulders, so you can swivel those all over the place. I do like that they kind of went with like this lighter kind of blue-ish. You can't really see it down here in the knees. Kind of blends in a whole lot better. A lot of times they would have just used white for it. So that actually blends in a little bit better for the hiding the joint there. You do have the elbows that bend and rotate. Same thing with the wrists. You do have the waist rotation, hips, forward and back, in and out, bends at the knee, rotates at the knee. You do have the boot cut that you can rotate right there. Ankles. Oh, and some beautiful ankle tilt. Because, you know, talking about ankle tilt is kind of like an out-of-the-world, out-of-body experience. That's how good that is. Put that there. And then, there we are. Wait, is he going to hold that? No, there you go. Because, you know, you can't get a good action figure without beautiful ankle pivot. There we go. Skeletor. There you are, my friends. There we are. Beautiful Skeletor. But there you go, guys. There's my look at the new cartoon collection, Masters of the Universe Origins, Invisible Skeletor. Again, I want to send a huge shout out to the folks over at Mattel for making this review possible. If you'd like to add him to your collection, you can do so at Mattel Creations, also Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, Amazon, all of that stuff. I'll put links right down there in the video description where you can click on that and go. Or I'll put that little thing like right there. Bling, that little spot right there. I don't know if that does anything. But if you click on that, that'll take you to like Walmart or something. You can pick this guy up as well. But that's about it, guys. So I want to thank you all for tuning in. Until next time, this is Optibotimus saying to behave yourself. Don't do anything I want to do, like get infected toes, because why would you want to do that? Don't do that. I love you all. I'll talk to you later. Bye.